contract.
So now, how would you feel if your brother wanted to do that with your mother with a mutual consent? You'd be okay morally as well, right?
If I know about it, that would not be morally okay.
Why not?
Because that will harm me.
How is it harming you?
Knowing
Two consenting individuals.
Knowing.
How is that harming you? How is it harming you?
It's not morally okay because they are harming me.
So how is it harming you? How is it harming you? How is it harming you?
Your cousin, your sister.
Because it affects my sanity.
Say it. It affects your sanity.
Yeah.
If something affects my sanity,
You have to be responsible toward the people
I want to establish
around you,
principles
right?
now. As you are deriving them, as you are making your principles. You've established a principle where if I consider some action is going to affect my sanity, I can consider it to be morally not okay. If I see things like this and I consider it to be morally affecting my sanity, so I am okay to say it's morally not okay, right?
Another person, yeah. If it affects another person in a bad way,
Yeah. So if it affects if all the people are affected by people, for example, not dressed appropriately or doing things like homosexual act, adulterous relationship, or bestiality, or things like that, or even homosexual practices which are now normalized in a society. We can.
So
You would
are you
agree?
against homosexuals?
No. Remember what I'm saying. Don't bring this,
It was
homophobia card.
If you
Sorry.
and I were here 50
you are.
years ago,
I am saying-
you
I am
were
saying-
probably not okay with
No,
that
I am
either.
saying.
So by time
if remember.
people get to
Sorry.
stuff,
Do not bring the homophobia card in here because no one is saying we are
admitted to it.
homophobic. We are saying.
because 50 years ago, you would have easily told me
Let me
that
finish
you're
my example.
against it.
No, let me finish
but
my
now, with majority of people agreeing with
Do you-
it,
do you-
you don't even dare tell me
Do you
that you're against it.
do you consider in a society which infringes your freedom of expression of your belief, when they're going to take you to court for that by this infringement, that I want to have my personal security at risk by talking about all these things? Would you go to Sweden or France or Germany and say, I deny the Holocaust? Because you will be penalized for that, even though that could be your personal belief. Now you realize, my sister, in humanity, our personal freedom is not something that we express even though we believe in it. Our expression has been restricted.
Holocaust has been also framed by a religious.
No, I'm saying whatever. I'm not accepting or denying or saying, look.
Doesn't only happen
I'm only making
to
a point.
Jewish people.
No, I'm only making a point where
To Polish people,
society.
it doesn't necessarily happen.
My point is
but
this.
the
Please tell them the
religious-
story.
That's why the religious bodies behind those things, they arrest
Doesn't
you
matter who's done
because
that.
you disclaim Holocaust.
My point
That's
is
about
simple.
religion.
But my point is simple.
Unfortunately, religion has so much of power.
Regardless it's religion or non-religious bodies imposing on this, my point is very simple. Our personal freedom of expression of our belief have been restricted by law, where we can be penalized by expressing our own belief system. You will have to say, I accept it. You have no choice. You cannot go, like the example countries I mentioned, I say, it's my personal freedom. I deny the Holocaust. I personally don't think it happened. But you won't say that because you know your freedom, you have no freedom here at all. Likewise, you cannot go to work, especially in our hospitals in UK, naked. Your freedom has already been restricted by your contract. There's a dress policy, a code of conduct. You are already under the restrictions of the societal authorities, whether religious or otherwise. So
I
you
will
cannot
have a problem
So,
if
the
your hospital goes toward where their law becomes women have to come to work with a hijab.
Wait. No, let's talk about now hijab first.
And that's their
No, let's go back. So the issue is that you don't have a problem with society restricting what you wear and how much you wear. You have a problem with why we wear too much, like in our head.
extreme.
No,
Let's
you
talk
consider it to be
about
extreme.
extreme ways.
No, you consider that to be extreme, right? Now, what if I
And
consider?
why would you do that?
Please, if you consider that to be extreme, is it possible someone may consider that's not extreme, right? Yeah? Would you not have people, like if I were to bring a Muslim woman wearing hijab, she might say, look, I am as educated as you are, in a Western context, and on my personal freedom, I have worn this. I don't even have a dad, he's dead. I don't have a brother. I'm about to get married, but I decide to wear the hijab. So you can't say she's been forced by anyone. And if she says, for example, I don't consider it to be extreme. So you cannot then put your understanding of what extreme is on another woman if she considers that not to be extreme. So the issue now is, okay, in terms of what men or women should wear, there seems to be a restriction placed in society, every society. Your issue is putting too much clothing is a problem. Do you have a problem if it's too less?
I may have a problem.
Right, does it matter?
Yeah. It doesn't. My personal belief doesn't matter.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
if you don't,
that's my own.
you've settled the issue. If you think it doesn't matter, then if a woman wants to wear hijab fully, even with the face veil, it shouldn't matter to you. If a woman wants to dress fully naked, it shouldn't matter to you.
No, it doesn't matter.
That's what I'm saying.
It doesn't matter.
Then you're
my
questioning.
question from the beginning was that why Islam would discriminate against.
Okay, now when you say it's discriminating, then I will question that. I will say it is not a discrimination.
Why would you say it's discrimination?
For the
Because if she
following
goes to Iran,
reason.
she has to wear a hijab.
Well,
Every woman in here, if you go to Iran, a Muslim country, you're
Yeah,
forced
but
to wear a
have you
hijab.
spoken to the women?
That's what Islam does in power.
No, but have you spoken
That's
to the women and asked
repression.
them?
Yes, we come from here.
Okay, brother, let's continue. So basically, come on, respect the woman. Respect the woman. Respect the woman. Don't oppress the woman.
Okay,
Right,
there
so-
are many things you cannot with having hijab on.
No, what I'm saying is, look,
With having hijab
No,
on,
can I say
you
something?
cannot, with having
Can I-
this full veil
can I just
on,
make-
you cannot ride a
can I just make an
bicycle.
issue? Can I just-
I actually didn't see a woman with the veil and all full hijab
Can I make just one
on
point?
a bicycle. It's limiting. It is limiting.
now a dress code,
So
when we,
how can you do everything you want, but your wife can't do because they have a hijab on? Just think about it.
when we are discussing about dress code, we need to understand the purpose of dress in the first place. Do you agree?
No, because hijab
I mean, have you?
Sorry.
Have you seen
Do you not agree?
Have you seen a soccer field?
Sorry.
with women Players,
You're going
soccer
to-
players running with their veils on.
Brother, my sister,
hijab on.
my
It's
sister,
limiting.
please, listen. Do you not understand? I'm sure you do. When we talk about dress code, whether in a space agency where you have to dress, how do you dress in a? Wait,
As long as you're comfortable.
sorry, 1 second. When you go into an aseptic environment, grade A, you know what grade A environment is?
What is it?
Okay. For example, if you're going in a lab where you don't want any
Personal protective.
No. I'll explain. An environment where we want to make it as sterile as possible. So
Okay.
pyrogen free from particles,
Right.
whether they're from bacteria, viruses, fungus, and so on. So for example, in a lab we make total parenteral nutrition or make chemotherapy, things like this. We go inside fully gowned. Sometimes they go gowned in such that only the eyes are visible. Now,
What does it have to do with hijab?
excuse me, sorry. So this is also a dress code. Do you agree?
Yes, there's a reason behind it.
Wait. So if there is a reason behind the dress code, in principle you'd be okay with that.
Yes.
Fine.
What
So
is
we're
the
getting
reason behind
Wait, slowly. So we're now getting somewhere. A dress code to be acceptable in any context, there has to be justifiable reason for it. You see, we've come to a point where we're agreeing on a lot of things.
Yes.
You and I agree on a lot of things.
Yes.
Whatever dress code that is, there has to be a justifiable reason.
Yes.
Islam justifies the dress code where it says when you go in public you have to dress modestly. So the question about modesty comes in. You can ask and we can discuss what defines modesty. What level of clothing defines modesty?
So
For example,
veil is above
please,
Quran.
I want to.
I know Quran.
No. I want to give you an example.
Many verses
No,
by my
please,
heart.
please.
So
Can you let me finish this one point and then we
Sure.
can continue? I want to demonstrate it's not just clothing. Imagine now someone wears full clothing, skin tight and see-through. That's clothing. Now, Exactly. Imagine Islamic hijab. Exactly. Exactly. But it's all see-through. Now, the amount of clothing is the same. Do you think?
It is see-through. How is it the same?
Wait. The material is the see-through. That's the difference. But this clothing is from head to toe, for example.
Right.
Now, do you think Islam would consider it okay? Same level of clothing.
Islam would not consider it okay.
Right.
Because it's
So now you have a level of clothing is the same. Is that what is transparent or not? Do you see what we're getting at? How much clothing you put? No. How much clothing you put on yourself is not the extent of clothing from head to toe. That means it's linked with something else. It's linked with something else.
What is the reason behind it? What do you think is necessary?
I told you already. Islam wants women and men. Don't forget men. To dress modestly in public. What they do in their private homes, whether they walk naked or not, that's not what affairs of Islam. Okay? What you do in public, because it's going to affect you and me, affect the society, affect my kids, affect my teenager son.
So
right?
am I
It will.
affecting the society with not
I'm not talking about you. Sorry. Do not bring any personal issues in. I am saying
you are thinking as a person with someone in your family with hijab on. You're thinking about rest of the society without hijab or affecting the society, right? They're
What I'm saying-
people around them.
any piece of clothing, depending on how you wear it, it will affect your level of modesty. Even if you wear the burqa, the khimar, the jilbab, more than even the normal jilbab khimar, but it's all see-through. Imagine it's made by polythene see-through. It is not going to be acceptable. Even the level, even though the level, the extent of clothing from head to toe is the same. So what is importantly highlighted here is what makes modest clothing. So Islam considers and it defines the level of modesty. It says whatever is apparent, for example, they can display whatever comes out apparent. So in an Islamic society, in a public appearance of a woman,
So Islam is forcing women
no, not forcing.
to cover.
Excuse me. I take offense with this word Islamic forcing. When you talked about your hospital, or in Germany or anywhere, you don't use the word forcing. Be consistent. If you're going to use, my hospital forced me to work wearing clothes.
So if
You don't say that. You don't say that.
Okay, so you are a proper
in fact,
Muslim.
England is okay. England is
it's not the law.
brother. England is forcing you to wear clothes in Speaker's Corner. How would you feel if I use this word? England is forcing you to wear clothes. You will say, "What do you mean forcing? It's my choice. I wear." You see, you will take. Say, "Look, I don't accept that. I'm not being forced. I'm in England, but I'm not being forced." So when we talk about dress code, Islam considers a level of modesty with certain clothing. So for a man, it has a level of clothing. Woman, it has a level of clothing. And it says for both of them, lower your gaze. Lower your gaze. So
It did not consider the woman being comfortable in it or not. It just thought about society. So the woman in the height of the summer, which is 45 degrees Celsius, has to wearing it. And
So would you come here, or
it,
if it's 45
and they're
degrees?
not comfortable in it.
So if it's 45 degree here, would you come here naked? Same question applies.
Yeah.
You would not be able to because the society has
What is the most
already restricted
comfortable
your freedom.
Nobody promoting
naked.
nakedness.
So
Do you see that?
really
Nobody
hard.
promoting
What
nakedness.
happens? What happens when people go to the beaches, sea beaches? They take off their clothes, don't they?
Do
Mostly.
you know
that
religion
right?
promoting nakedness?
Excuse me. I'm not talking about your religion. I don't know where you're coming from. You need
You
to
just
understand
said
what
they're
discussion.
naked.
So as you realized, doesn't matter how much clothing you put, you have to accept. We are forced by society wherever we are
No,
to a
if
certain
you-
degree
tomorrow,
of restriction
come
of what we
here,
wear.
Come
Your
here, have the
argument
full
is
clothes
weight
on,
naked
and
now.
then you'll understand
Sorry?
what a woman goes through wearing full hijab on. Tomorrow, come
I'm
here,
sure-
put the burqa on. If all Muslim men do that, maybe it will change their understanding
Let me-
of what I'm talking about.
Okay, let me tell you why I
And
don't
then
find
when
that.
when I speak with women with hijab, they say it's their choice, which I don't believe that.
Now,
they can't. They can't.
I want to make a comparison likewise. No.
Your choice.
Sorry,
Okay.
sorry. I want to make like a comparison. When it's very warm, why even men are not going like in a scantily clothes at work. Some clothes. Why aren't men having a bikini at work when it's very hot? Why aren't they allowed?
The alternative is not
Man's
bikini.
bikini, man's
The
bikini.
alternative.
Oh, okay, what? Not bikini. What is it called? An underpants, right?
Alternative to burqa is not bikini.
Excuse me.
Will you
You've come
be
to the wrong discussion.
comfortable in
I
it?
know I have a problem with
Will
that.
you
Right?
you don't have
will you be
answers.
comfortable in
Sorry,
it?
sorry.
Will you be comfortable in
It's
it?
not about comfortableness. Look, if
It
you're
is.
feeling okay,
If
excuse
you're
me.
not feeling
Sorry,
comfortable
sorry.
in your clothes, there's a problem about it.
Do women feel comfortable in their high heels?
No.
So why would they wear Norfolks, for example?
Do you see the
That's
problem?
too.
Do you see the problem? It's not about comfort. Now,
It's not a cult. There is not
Sorry.
There is not a
Now-
high heels
now-
religion.
now-
If you want to belong
now-
in it, you are gonna have
look,
high
look,
heels
look.
on.
Now you have established one thing very interesting. Woman can wear things on herself even though it's not comfortable, like high heels. And you would have no problem with that.
Because of that, women can